It's not normal steel. I don't think it's a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer.
And that was a clip from Transformers: Age of Extinction, released just a month ago. It's the highest grossing movie so far this year, already bringing in over $1 billion at movie theaters around the world. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, as WSJ reporter Ben Fritz is here to tell us, the real financial picture is a bit more complicated. Ben, thanks so much for being with us.
Sure, thank you.
So even though this current iteration of Transformers is bringing in so much money, more than the previous one, it doesn't stand to make the studio as much money.
Right, because what happened is, even though the total worldwide ticket sales, which is the box office number we all used to seeing every Sunday or Monday, are about the same as the last one, a lot more of the money came from China and a lot less came from the United States and the UK. And as it turns out, box office dollars, when they turn into revenue, they don't turn into nearly as much revenue in China as they do here.
That's fascinating. So break it down for us, right. Country by country. You have a graphic in your piece that explains why a box office dollar in the U.S. is worth so much more than one in China.
Sure. So over a period of about a decade, studios, I found out through some analyses I obtained, they count on a total of about 27 cents on the dollar coming into them from China. That's the low, all the way to a high of $1.75 in the U.S. And the reason, there's two reasons for that. One is the split of the box office dollar is different, meaning if you spend $10 on a movie ticket in the U.S., the studio gets about $5. The other $5 stays with the theater. In China, they would only get $2.50. The other $7.50 stays with the government and / companies. And then on top of that, they can project a lot more revenue will come from DVD sales, video on demand, television airings on HBO, etc. And in China and some other less developed countries that have very high piracy, those barely exist. So you kind of run into theaters and then you're pretty much done.
So this has become very important for studios. Are the post-film release sales and DVDs and television releases, and these developing countries don't have such a market for that?
Correct.
Okay, so now what about some of the other countries in between the US and China? How does it break down?
Sure. Well, on the higher end, you see in the UK, Western Europe, it's around $1.30 for a dollar box office.
Still good.
So it's still pretty good for sure. In Russia, it's about 65 cents, but that's getting higher every year. Their TV market's improving. South Korea, a very developed country, only 55 cents. The reason is piracy is so rampant in South Korea that virtually nobody buys DVDs or does video on demand legally. And
it's interesting to see also that the taste for movies is different from country to country. It seems like here in the US, maybe we have some Transformers fatigue.
We do, yes. I think after 4 Transformers that are so similar, people have lost interest, which is why Transformers 4 this summer grossed about 100 million less than the last one, a big difference. China grossed 150 million more. They seem to just be getting more excited.
Did you see both the last one and the most recent one?
I did, yes.
And did you think there was a big difference in quality?
No, they're pretty similar. If you like Transformers, you like it. You know, they haven't done with that series is kind of to refresh it and rethink it. Look at a franchise like Fast and Furious. Actually, last summer, number 6 was the highest grossing one of them all, and I think one of the key reasons is they kind of rethought it, added some new elements, new cast members along the way.
So that holy grail, the elusive American audience, we're a little bit stickier than the studios bargained for sometimes. Are we over Spider-Man 2, it seems?
Spider-Man 2 also did not do as well as the studio had hoped, and to the extent it did any business, a lot more of it was overseas than here. And it's tricky. The studios, they certainly want to get Chinese people, Russians to see their movies because it's a new audience.
Of course.
But what they don't want to do is lose Americans in the process, and that's a very tricky balance.
They've got to get another Titanic out there, right?
Sure.
It appeals to absolutely everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ben, for that.